Zuri's gonna have to sleep.
Welcome everyone to Andre's Basketball Talk, Basketball World, however you want to name it. Probably call it a podcast. Let's call it a podcast. Let's talk about that. And I've been thinking, which I mean that's bad for y'all because if I start thinking, it's kind of over for y'all when I start thinking. But when I watch basketball throughout the week, I watch a basketball channel called Players Choice, the panel. And it's a couple guys that get on there and they just talk about what happened the day before when it comes to basketball, all that stuff. And you got interesting people that go on there and they discuss their take about what's going on in the NBA right now. So I'm watching one today, and I'm watching them listen. I'm listening to them, and one of the guys on there was talking about, you know, systems, play styles, and stuff like that. And then that got me thinking when I was watching the Thunder play against the Atlanta Hawks, right? The Thunder and Atlanta Hawks played a game, and that was our last game, if I'm not mistaken. No, Portland was. Portland was up. When I was watching the Thunder versus the Hawks, I couldn't finish the game. I didn't finish the game watching. And the main reason I didn't finish the game watching, because one thing that popped up in my mind is I'm watching this team shoot a lot of threes, right? 5 players on the court, 5 for the Thunder. I mean, it's 10 players on the court, 5 for the Thunder, 5 for the Portland Trailblazers. So 5 and 5, 10 people on the court. On our side, 5 of us, we're shooting a lot of threes, nonstop. We're just shooting threes, shooting threes, shooting threes. And when I'm watching them shoot all these threes, I'm like, are players of today era truly better? Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I could say yeah, right. On the offensive side of the ball, how you doing, Mr. Chandler? On the offensive side of the ball, I'll say today's era is a better era when it comes to the offense side of the ball, which is basically shooting threes. They get into the basket more. All these analytics, that's what they do. That a lot of analytics talking about, oh yeah, you need to do this. You need to shoot more threes. You need to cut out the mid-range shot. It's inefficient. It's not good. And you need to go to the basket or you shoot the threes. That's it. And then when I'm watching, oh, what's up, Akuno? When I'm watching players play, teams play, different teams. I was going to watch the Bucks versus the Cavs. I couldn't do that. I didn't care enough. But when I was watching, maybe it was the Magic and who was that? I forgot who I was playing against. I'm watching them play, and there's a lot of times to where teams and players, not teams, but players watch the offense. They watch offense all day. So basically, you have a guy sitting at the 3-point line. Let's say they're on the right-headed wing. They're not. You have no clothes on. No, thank you. And they're sitting on the right-hand wing, and the guy's dribbling the ball, one defender. All the other 4 players on the opposite side is watching this one player. While they're watching this one player, you see rotations happening. You see players doing cut throughs. You see players pretty much adjusting around the court, but no one's focusing on their man. So instead, they're running after the guy with the ball. But why? You got one guy on them already. Why are you getting off of your man? And that leads to 3-point shots. That leads to players cutting to the basket. That's an open layup or dunk. And I'm like, so how are these players better? Let's say better. Let's say how these players supposed to be better nowadays when they're struggling for simple rotations. One of the things that one of the OGs say, his name is Chilltown Hoops, Chilltown's Basketball Hoops. He said it's a lot. How many players actually know how to play basketball? And that always got me thinking, do these players know how to play basketball, or they just so giftedly talented that they don't have to try and they just wing it? That's where I'm at right now. That's exactly where I'm at right now. When I'm watching my Thunder play, I watch the Thunder play. When we play against the Spurs, back in the day, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, however far you want to go back, that big man, Chet versus Wemby, everybody just let that happen. You just let it happen. If Chet is a great defensive player, he can hold his own against Wemby. If Wemby's such a great defensive player, he'll hold his own against Chet. Every time I see them play, immediately the exact same thing happens. Wemby gets the ball, Chet is guarding, one other guy comes over there to double team immediately. But why? Why is that the case? Is that because they're like, he can't hold his own? Well, if he can't hold his own, how is he a defensive player of the year candidate if he cannot hold his own against one of the bigger guys, against his own matchup? The same thing. Let's say when we played against the Denver Nuggets, when Jokic catches the ball, immediately we had two guys on Jokic, and Jokic had to give up the ball. And then there's a lot of rotation rolling around the court trying to block Jokic from doing what he wants to do, which pretty much pass or he's going to score. It's one of this. Something's good going to happen with Jokic with the ball. The same thing happens with Luka. When Luka gets the ball, which is very interesting, when Luka gets the ball, there is no double team. It's usually a single coverage, and they let Luka do whatever he wants to. So if Luka gets the ball and he has Lou Dort is usually the guy who's going to be guarding him, right? Because he's our best defensive player, arguably, him and Caruso. He gets the ball, and it's 1v1s. That's it. It's 1v1s. There's no other double teams or nothing like that. It's 1v1s because we know Luka can get the ball. It's different because Luka is also a guard. He's 6'8", 6'9". He can pass with the best. He can toss it anywhere he wants it. He can see the court. Jokic, on the other hand, he's a big man. He's a center. He's 7 foot, 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, something like that. So if he catches the ball, he doesn't have opportunity to run around or do anything. No, Luka can. Jokic cannot. My question is, to a lot of people, I want y'all to comment, say anything. Is players right now better than players in the past because the development of the game has got better, where it's pretty much 3-point shooting, you cut out the mid-range game and you go to the basket? Or what's the difference here? Personally, Wemby is a great player. I mean, he's going to be a great player. Hopefully, he's going to be a great player. He's 7 foot. He's 7'5" with shoes on. 7'5" with shoes on. 7'5". He can dribble. He can hit the mid-range. He can hit the 3-point. He can take it to the paint. But when you watch his game, he has not developed that well. Why he has not developed that well? Because he gets the ball and he immediately, instead of just posting up, immediately he's looking to do extra stuff. I don't know why. He does it every single time. That's the reason why he gets shut down a little bit easier. People was ready for that quick development from year 2 to year 1. I mean, from 1 to 2. Didn't happen. Why? He's not ready yet. It's just that simple. He's not ready yet. You compare that to a player like Joel Embiid. He ain't playing right now because he's injured for how long? Gosh, I don't know how long. But Joel Embiid is another player. If you watch him play the ball, he gets the ball around the elbow post, close to the back. He gets around the elbow post. Everybody move away from him because he's going to be 1v1s. And they try to double team. He can, but he's going to draw a foul. There's also a little bit of foul merch. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I ain't going to lie. I don't like watching him play that much. They gets the ball. They go one-on-one. He turns around and he takes a little bit of time. That depends on if he wants to shoot the ball or he wants to go into the paint. If he goes into the paint, he's going to be unstoppable. He's going to draw a foul. But he bails people out because he gets so tired of doing it every single time that he settles for jump shots. He settles. You'll see him come down the court. He's up there by the free throw line. Hand me the ball. I'll just shoot a mid-range shot. Or he come down the court and he stops and he shoots a 3 because he don't want to do that extra work. Now you compare that to a player like, I can't even think of a player right now. Let's compare it to AD. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, if y'all did not know, he was a point guard in the very beginning of his basketball career, not an NBA career, basketball career. But then he so he was playing a lot of point guard. It means he could dribble, all that extra stuff. And then eventually he just grew up to be the Celtics runs an offense that's heavy on 3-point shots. Basically, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, doesn't matter who it is, they can get all the way to the basket. It's if you have not seen them, they get all the way to the basket where they can literally make a layup. Instead of making a layup or dunk, if there's one person in front of them, they pass it out to the 3-point shooter and they take that shot and they shoot the ball. That's what they do. That's their system. So how smart is that? It's because 2s are better than 3s. I mean, 3s are better than 2s. But the efficiency is around the basket. You can finish the basket. You 6'9", you 6'8", whatever. You can finish that. Instead, we have players passing the ball out to the three-point line, hoping that the guy out there is a good three-point shooter, that he's going to actually make it. But that's the Boston Celtics system. Everybody doesn't run the same system. The Warriors back in the day, when they was actually really good, I mean, right now they're good, but they're not championship good. When they had Clay, Curry, you can go Harrison Barnes, you can go Kevin Durant, don't matter. Draymond, when he was able to shoot threes, which that was 2016. When they had those four people out there, that's what their system was: pick and rolls, and then after you pick and roll, you have a wide open three-point shooter. If not, it was Draymond brings the ball down the court. They run plays to get Curry open at the three-point line. If it's not Clay, then they have a certain play where Clay and Curry has a handoff situation to where Curry will screen, tune a little bit for Clay just to get open just a little bit, and Clay will take that shot. It's just what they do. A lot of teams can't copy that. The Los Angeles Lakers this year, for a perfect example, the Lakers this year has ran majority, if not 90% of their plays through Anthony Davis. He's averaging 30-something right now. That's amazing, right? It's amazing. The play still comes to LeBron having the ball and doing something with it. I heard a debate happening that somebody wanted D'Angelo Russell to do that. But watching D'Angelo Russell play, if he doesn't have the ball in his hand, if he's not scoring, he's not doing anything. He's not running screens. He's not cutting to the basket. He's not doing anything to warrant having the ball or running the offense. And of course, people love to compare players that they are now compared to they were. And that's the problem that we have. That's one of the big problems that I do have while watching modern day NBA players play. Another problems I do have watching NBA players play is the fact that there is a belief, which is a crazy belief, there's a belief that if you're not a three-point shooter, you're useless on the court. That's not true. You can do other stuff. There's a guy on the Lakers bench. I think he's still on the bench. Jared Vanderbilt. They don't play him heavy minutes or hardly any minutes because he can't shoot a three. He played great defense. He's a defensive monster. He's a defensive player type deal. He's 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", between 6'7" and 6'9". Can play elite defense, can give you something different out there on the defensive side of the ball. But because he can't shoot a three, he can't hit a mid-ranger, he can't do any of the stuff that you want to do right here, right now, they don't play him. So my question, outside of these players are better, is the IQ there? Are players' IQ even there anymore? I don't think it is. I personally don't think it is. Watching that Thunder versus the Hawks game a couple days ago, all 5 Thunder players that was out there, all 5 of them took threes at least twice. They all bricked. The IQ would tell you if you miss your first 2 threes, go to the basket, move in a little bit, hit the mid-range shooters. But analytics says threes are better than twos, and mid-ranges are non-efficient. It's not good, efficient basketball. So that led to them keep shooting threes and not try to go to the mid-range, not try to go to the paint. And that's where the problem I have and how I view the game of basketball, because I believe to be a superstar level player, to be on a level throughout NBA history, to be on a level of the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, the the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Magic Johnsons, the Kobe Bryants, the Shaqs, you have to be not only you have to dominate a different way compared to other players. That's the reason why I don't believe there's more than, if I'm not mistaken, I had 6, no, I think 5 or 6 superstars in the NBA right now. Those players are normally Curry, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, to an extent, LeBron still, to an extent. I think this year is going to be a whole different conversation. I think it's just those 5, if I'm not mistaken. Those five are superstars because they've been consistent throughout their years. They know how to win. They've been dominating. Well, except Luka, he hasn't won yet, but they've been dominating in their aspect. They have more than just I'll just get to the basket. They can also pull up for the mid range. Giannis is okay. Is a he ain't a good 3-point shooter, but at least he'll take them. So he's not useless out there. We saw what he did in the finals. He was able to close it out with a 50 piece. Players like that, they become superstars because of what they can do on the court. Players right now, they are in between. I call those star players that pretend like they're superstar players. Jason Tatum, he's one of those guys who's still in that mid range. That's why I said he's a star level player. A lot of people like, oh, I had the argument. Oh, well, they run threes. That's their system. Okay, that's the system. We got to do more than that. He's got to better as a playmaker. That's good. He's always been a good defensive player. That's good. Let's lower down the threes a little bit. Let's get a bit more efficient. Let's get around the whole basketball court. Don't sit there at the 3-point line. You take it in. You take it in hard. You know what I'm saying? You go for it. Players don't do that. I can't call Joel Embiid a superstar. He always hurt. People say, "Oh, if he already hurt, you already know he's gonna be hurt. Then don't count." No. If you can't stay healthy, you can't be a superstar. You can't. If you can't stay healthy, you can't be a superstar. So there is no. Oh, hey. If he good. No, if you can't be healthy to play on the court, if you can't help your team get out the second round of a playoffs, you can't be a superstar level player. You can't be. I can't consistently call you just because you put up great numbers. That doesn't mean anything. There's plenty of players that put up numbers. I'm not calling them superstars. Respectfully, Trace McGrady was putting up crazy numbers in Orlando. I didn't call him a superstar. The man he never got out the first round as the best player. I mean, what are we legitimately doing here? Nobody does that. People are so quick to call players superstars, but don't have the superstar resume for it. It's tossed out so easily. That's a superstar. That's a superstar. No, they're star players. They're all star players. They pretend to act like they're that until the game is on the line and there's time for them to stepping up. And when they disappear, there's a pushback. There's no pushback here. I'm focused. I'm focused on you. I got y'all. I'm focused. I'm always focused. Might not seem like it, but I'm here. I'm watching. I'm watching all the little details. I'm watching everything that you do. I'm watching the development. I'm watching the controversial right there and how you respond to it. I'm always there for it. But modern day players, the pros of it is that more people watching basketball, which I apply because I told people watch more basketball. Right, I've been saying this for a few years. Right now is the best time to start watching NBA basketball. You can start picking the team right now and follow that team through its journey because you get to see the players that's there. You can see what they're gonna look like after. You're gonna see what they hopefully look like in the future. But you can pay attention to the franchise, pay attention to the way the player plays. There are several. I mean several. There's several hundreds, maybe thousands of NBA YouTubers that are breaking down the NBA game. Be careful because you got a lot of casuals. Myself is a casual, so I be lying to y'all. I be sounding good. I'm lying to y'all. Y'all just be listening because I sound good with it. But they break down the game. They tell you, oh yeah, from this feet here, from the 0 to 3 feet, guess who's dominating this? From 6 to 12 feet, guess who dominates right here? Guess who's the best 3-point shooters? Guess who's a great 3-point shooter on one side of the court? Guess who? Everybody breaks down something different, and all you have to do is just watch. I watch all 30 teams, so it's kind of hard for me just to sit and watch one team. I watch all 30 teams, but everybody knows my favorite team is the Thunder. I'm more criticizing on my Thunder than I do on any other teams. Other teams, I just call how it is. It is what it is. I don't watch you every night. I watch the Thunder every night when I can. But modern day players, they have that where social media and everything is really heavy. So they're on social media. They're stalking these YouTube videos. They're paying attention to everything, and they're trying to figure out what they need to do to get better. At the same time, modern NBA players hate having roles that they don't want to be limited to. And that's the reason why there's not many there's no dynasties in 2020. Think about throughout the NBA history. In the 60s, it was the Bill Russell Celtics was a dynasty. They won 11 championships in 13 seasons from Bill Russell. And the 70s was more relaxed because there were, like it is right now, there was new different NBA champions. Almost every other year there was a new NBA champion. So they can't limit it down to just one team that was dominating everybody. No. In the 80s, it was two teams. It was either the Celtics are winning or the Lakers are winning. And then the last few years of the 80s, it was the Detroit Pistons. In the 90s, it was Chicago Bulls winning 6 of them things out of 10 years. They won 6 of them. They won 6. They dominated that entire era. In the 2000s, you had the Spurs, you had the Lakers. They was either in the NBA Finals or they were in the Western Conference Finals. They were one of those. Those are some of the teams. The 2000 through 2005 featured either the Lakers or the Spurs. 06 was the Heat and the Mavericks. 07 was the Spurs. 8, 9, and 10 was Lakers. I'm not lying to y'all. Go look it up. In the 2010s, once again, it was dominated by a LeBron James-led team. So either it was the Miami Heat or the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then the other half was the Golden State Warriors. I'm not lying to y'all. Look it up. Do I need to do it again? I'll do it again real quick. 11, 12, 13, 14. Those 4 right there, that was the Heat. That was LeBron James. And then out East, it continued to go in. So for the East, it was 2011 through 2018 was a LeBron James-led team. Golden State was from 2015 through 2015. They did 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, they finished out the whole year. So from 15 through 19 was the Golden State Warriors. That's the dynasty with. And then 2020s, there is no dynasty right now. Everybody just winning, apparently. Everybody can get a ring almost. With players not limiting themselves, figuring out what their role is, that's where the egos happen. And once the egos happen, you can't go away from it. Somebody just did this, and I cannot remember who it was. Oh, I'm losing track of that person. I forgot what NBA player it was, but I'm freaking losing it right now. That's okay. Paul George told us back in 2020, 2021 that he was not the best player on the team. He was a second fiddle to a championship team. And that's where he's with Kawhi. I said, I'm glad he said that. More players need to take responsibilities to find out what their role is in the NBA. There's too many I want to be number ones, not enough I want to be number twos. There's not enough I want to be number 3. They all want to be number ones. When you have that many mouths to feed, that's the reason why players are going. That's why players keep leaving teams. That's why players get traded or ask for trades out. It's because they realize they're not number ones, but then they keep making an excuse. It wasn't a good fit. It wasn't a good fit. It was a good fit. You don't know your role. It's that simple. It's really that simple. If Joel Embiid came out right now and said he cannot be a number 1 and he'd rather be a number 2, I'll believe him. He's not going to because he's still a number 1 in a lot of people's mind. He's number 1 on a championship team. That's cool. He's a star player. That's cool. That's what you want. If Dame, early in his career, if he would have tell LaMarcus Aldridge, this is still your team, let's commit a relationship, let's make a strong relationship, he might have had more success in the postseason. But no, LaMarcus Aldridge left. They didn't have a relationship, apparently. Dame said that before, I think in the interview or something, which I picked it up somewhere. And then Dame, as the number 1, I think we all realize he's not a number 1. He's number 2. At best. At best, he might be a number 2. He could be a number 3. I don't know yet. I don't know. I know right now he look like a number 3 because they ain't doing good over there. I'm just saying. I'm being legit with y'all. Players need to figure out their roles. Modern day players, IQ needs to get better. The focus on analytics has killed the game of basketball, in my personal opinion. People are too worried about percentages. People are worrying about how many shots somebody. Hey, did they win the game? I don't care. I don't care if Shea Gillis Alexander went out there and went 8 from 25, but he's the only one trying to win the game. I don't care. Did we win? We won. Cool. Let's get it. Yep, he could have done ABC, but guess what? Nobody else was doing anything. I hate when people trying to focus so much on, oh, why did he take 25 shots? Because anybody else taking 25 shots. Everybody else that got a chance, they couldn't, they brick, they didn't want to shoot the ball no more. So they got hit 25%. IQ's got to be better. Forget about the efficiency. Forget about the intellects telling you that you should stop shooting stop being a mid-range shooter and stuff. That doesn't matter. It's the game of basketball. Sometimes you gotta take the ball, and if it look like a good shot, take the shot. Take the shot. Players gotta stop getting signed these crazy paychecks, man. I ain't gonna lie, this is ridiculous. We got players that aren't even all-stars signing star level player money. This is crazy. You can't tell me that OG Alanobi. Hold on, let me pull it up. No. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on. Yep, I gotta pull it up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be quick with this, but no. Make it sound like I'm hating, but I ain't hating, man. I'm telling y'all. I'm just OG Alanobi. This past season signed a 5-year, 212,500,000. That's his contract. He ain't even been an all-star yet. So why is he getting paid money that I would play to a star level player, a multiple time all-star player? He ain't made nobody's all-star team. He ain't been nobody's all NBA player. Has he even been an all defense? He's been an all defensive player one time. And that was in 2013. 2013. 20, I mean, not 2013. 2023. I don't know why I said 2023. One time all NBA defensive player. That's it. Apparently that's 212 million. Crazy work. Hey. I'm gonna stop. Let me stop ranting. I'll stop ranting. But I think modern day NBA players offensively have to score the ball that they're better at. I think players like at the very end of the bench, the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guy on the bench, I think they are players that are guaranteed to get a bucket. I think that is true. I think they have more chance to get a bucket now than they would have in the 2000s and the 90s and the 80s. But IQ wise, I think the IQ is lowered. I think the IQ has slowed down a lot. That's just my personal opinion. If you dislike it, Let me know. Hit the comment section, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Share this everywhere. Play this everywhere. Hit that thought right there in your brain cells. And I'm out. Like a light.